I'm back to give a little bit more of my testimony. Um, what I really wanted to talk about was, like I said, I was a child of six, and my mom, she was a prostitute, and my father was a pimp, and um, after my father went to prison for 38 years, and my mom, she was already messed up. I mean, from her childhood. My mother was like molested by her own biological father. I found out when I got older. But I knew at some time that he probably had done that to her because when I was younger, I had to go and live with him and my grandmother because my mom, like, let her ex, like, kick me out when I was 10 years old. And I sit at the bus station for like basically all night till the next day. Like I borrowed money from a lady that used to bootleg like beer or whatever. I borrowed money from her, and I left the whole city that I was in. It was a small town that wasn't far from Lubbock. My mom, she married a guy that she was married to for like many, many years after she worked her way out of prostitution and so forth. But she really hadn't worked her way out of prostitution because while she was with him trying to provide for food and stuff like that, she still would prostitute. And like, I really like had a great big vendetta against women that would do that because it did something to me that was like just, I don't know, it did something to me. Just it would it did something. It did something to me. I just can't even recall and say what it done to me. But I used to just didn't feel right about women like trying to sell themselves because of what my mom had done in front of us, or the things that I knew that she had done. Um, like I say, she kicked me out at 10 years old. I stayed at the bus station in a little city called Tulia, Texas, because we had lived there for like 2 years or something like that. And while I was there for those 2 years, we didn't have a place to live. And, I used to just run around like with some of my friends that used to be at school or whatever, not really wanting them to know my situation and what I was going through. I didn't have a place to sleep, and I would stay all night with them. And when I wouldn't, I've slept in parks and all of that um, when I was younger or whatever. Granted, my mother, she slept in the parks with me, but we didn't have a place to stay. Um, I'll be right back in just a minute to give the rest.